Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
Stress, life, Austin turns it all into Thursday laughs. Thanks, Austin.
Current problems? Austin turns them into punchlines every Thursday. Thanks, Austin.
Life's a mess. Good thing Austin makes it funny every Thursday. Let the comedy roll.
Secure 65 health plans where senior thrive. Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
What would you do if one tank of gas meant choosing between food, medicine, or rent? Watch now.
Why are more seniors going broke after doing everything right? Watch now.
What if everything you think you know about retirement is completely wrong? Watch now here at Secure 65 Health Plans.
Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
Hello. Welcome to our Thursday podcast. Now, this one is important because we're going to discuss HIH. You might say, well, what in the world does that mean, Monet? Housing, income, and health for seniors, and what they might be hiding from you, grandchildren and children, and why you need to know the signs. You need to know what you can do, not only to help them, but to make sure you don't wind up in the same place. Stay tuned. You ever notice how the news will tell you everything except what's happening right in front of you? They'll talk about the markets. They'll talk about politics. They'll talk about everything except the quiet crisis, the one happening in grocery stores, gas stations, apartment complexes, the one happening to our beloved seniors. So let me paint a picture for you. You're 72 years old. You did everything right. You worked, you raised your family, you paid your bills. Now you're standing at the gas pump, watching that number climb, 40, 60, 80, and you're not thinking about travel. You're not thinking about vacation. You're thinking, what bill is this taking from? Because gas isn't just gas anymore. It's food, it's medication, it's survival. And while that's happening, there's a war across the world affecting oil supply chains. There's global instability, pushing energy prices up and down. And guess who feels it the most? It's not the corporations, seniors on fixed income, because every spike comes out of something they already needed. So let's talk about what's really happening. Not the headlines, reality. Right now, 1 in 5 seniors are either working or looking for work. Let that sink in. People who already retired are coming back, not because they're bored and not because they just want something to do, because they cannot afford not to. And if you really pay attention, you'll see them at the front of the store, behind the counter, sitting instead of standing because their body is tired, but their bills are not. And here's the part nobody wants to say. The jobs they are going back to are the same jobs disappearing. Retail, customer service, entry-level support. The exact jobs seniors are relying on are being replaced by automation and AI. So now imagine this. You go back to work at 70, trying to hold your life together, and the job disappears. By 2027, the workforce will look completely different. Fewer entry points, more automation, less room for error. So I have to ask you, what's the plan? Because hoping things work out is not a strategy anymore. Now let's talk about money. Because this one right here is quiet but deadly. Social Security gave a raise, about 2.8%. Sounds good until you realize healthcare costs have gone up nearly 50% in recent years. Food prices have jumped over 20%. Housing, don't even get me started. So that little raise, that little bump they gave you, it's gone before it even hits your account. And then we get to the real pressure point. Healthcare. Seniors right now are paying $300, $400, $500 or more every single month just to keep their Medicare supplemental plans. Why? Well, because they're afraid of one hospital visit, afraid of one diagnosis, afraid of one moment that wipes out everything they built. So they hold on, even when it hurts, even when it means they cannot help their kids, they cannot support their grandkids, they cannot even enjoy the life they work for. And nobody talks about what that kind of stress does to a body, because that kind of stress, it sits in the body, it raises blood pressure, it weakens the immune system, it contributes to heart disease, it accelerates decline, and yes, it is linked to increased risks of serious illnesses, including cancer. But we don't call it that. We just say, that's just part of getting older. No, that's pressure. Now, let's talk about housing, because this is one that's breaking people in real time. Right now, millions of seniors are spending more than just half of their income just to keep a roof over their head. Half, not extra, not luxury, survival. And the fastest growing homeless population in America is seniors. Let me say that again. Seniors, people over 55, people over 65, people who already did their time. And what you won't see in the news is how fast it's happening. One rent increase, one medical bill, one life event, and everything shifts. There was an 82-year-old woman, a cancer survivor, sleeping on her grandson's couch because rent became too high. That's not a statistic. That's somebody's grandmother. That's not something that you should turn away from. You should lean in on this. Let me give you another example. And in places like Long Island, homelessness is exploding, up 13% in 1 year. Seniors over 55 increasing by more than 20%. Let that sink in. This is happening fast. And while all of this is happening, Social Security says, here's your raise, 2.8%, about $56. $56, that doesn't even cover groceries for a week. And for those of you who say, well, there's always the dollar store. Would you buy all of your food from the dollar store if you didn't have to? So here's what you need to know. Their foods can include lower cost ingredients, not always expired, but usually closer to their expiration date than what you see at the larger chain stores. So what you don't want to buy there are juice and boxed drinks, bread and baked goods, frozen foods, milk, cheese, and yogurt, and other items that fall into that suspicious category. Now, always, and I mean always, look at the expiration date. That's important. And this is what I researched personally by going into a few dollar stores for this story. But do your own research and let me know what you find out. Just put it in the comments below. Now let's shift over to healthcare. Meanwhile, healthcare costs up nearly 50% since 2019. So with all of this, somebody who did everything right still ended up here. You've got seniors living in cars, seniors sharing rooms, seniors quietly losing homes they spent decades paying for. And here's what hits hardest. They're not giving up those homes easily, you guys. They're going back to work to keep them at 70, at 75, and yes, even at 80, because that home is not just a house to them. It's dignity, it's memory, it's stability. Now let's bring it back to everyday life. Groceries, gas, medicine. Seniors are making choices every single day that you don't see. Do I fill the tank or fill the fridge? Do I take this medication or stretch it out? Do I pay rent or fall behind just a little and hope and pray nobody notices? That's not budgeting, that's survival. And what you won't see in the news is the quiet sacrifice. The grandmother skipping meals so her grandkids can eat, or adding extra water to the soup. The grandfather delaying doctor visits because he already knows what they're going to say. Let's run another test. Let's talk about that for a second, because this is important. Not every test is necessary. Not every let's just check is harmless. Some tests lead to more tests, more stress, more cost, more complications, and nobody is teaching seniors how to ask questions. How to say, well, is this necessary? Or what happens if I don't do this? Or is there another opinion or another option? Because when you don't ask, you just follow. And sometimes following costs you more than you realize. So now let's go even deeper. Long-term care, because this is the one nobody wants to talk about until it's too late. Nursing homes can cost thousands of dollars a month. And if you don't have a plan, well, the cost doesn't just disappear. It comes from somewhere. And yes, that can include your home. So when people say, I'll figure it out later, later might just cost you everything. So I ask again, what's the plan? Because guessing is not going to protect you moving forward. Hoping is not going to carry you. And waiting is not going to save you. This is where we shift, because this is not just about problems. This is about solutions. Our sponsor for today's message is Vivek's Wealth and Insurance Solutions. Stop guessing about how you're going to make it. Sit down with someone who really understands you and your situation. Build a plan. Protect your home. Protect your health care. Protect your future. Don't let the system decide for you. Don't let long-term care take everything you worked for. I recently spoke to one of my dearest friends who used to work at the railroad, and he asked me if he was set up properly for long-term care. I asked him for the numbers, and he proudly said that he has $292,000 set aside and his policy for long-term care. Unfortunately, I had to explain that $292,000 divided by $500 a day, which is typical cost, would last him about 584 days, which is about a year and 7 months. And that's only if that is how much his care will cost him in the future. Do you see how quickly that money can disappear? Even though it sounds large. The average stay in long-term care is between 5 and 6 years. Let that sink in. He said his parents were in a nursing home, his mother for 5 and his dad for 6. And it cost over $500,000 with no long-term care. So ask yourself this question in privacy. Where is that money going to come from? Vivek's Wealth only offers hybrid policies, which means they are attached to a life insurance policy or an annuity policy, and they have continuation of coverage benefit riders. And they're attached, which means you never run out of money or comfort or peace of mind. You're always covered. So call 833-300-4968 to get the comfort you need and you deserve. And remember, there are 2 things you need to purchase any life or long-term care: good health and the ability to pay. You cannot move forward with just one of those. So don't wait until it's urgent, because by then your options might be limited. So now let's talk about community, because nobody gets through this alone. At Collaborative Expansion Foundation, we are not just talking about the problem. We are building solutions. Spark the mind, because information changes everything. Nourish the people, because nobody should have to choose between food and survival. Shape the future, because this is the biggest issue, bigger than just today. This is about what comes next. And if you're sitting there wondering, what do I do? Here's how you find out. Donate, follow, like, participate. Come to the events. Get your food boxes. Join the games. Sit in the seminars. Find out about housing, income, health. We have real conversations with real strategies, with real people who care. So join the community. Get the newsletter. Stay informed, because what you don't know right now can cost you everything later. And here's the truth. You still have time to pivot. But that window, well, it doesn't stay open forever, because what you're seeing right now is not random. It's a shift. And the question is, are you prepared for it? Or are you going to wait until you become the next story? Health, income, and housing. This is the one podcast you don't just listen to. This is the one you need to act on. Now let's talk about what you can actually do right now and not later. You can review your Medicare plan every single year and stop overpaying for coverage you don't need, while making sure you actually have the protection where it matters. You can sit down and build a real long-term care strategy, so your home is not on the line if something happens. Whether that's through asset protection, the right insurance structure, or simply repositioning what you already have. You can create guaranteed income streams, so you're not depending on Social Security alone. Because you guys, that was never designed to carry the full weight of retirement, and especially not in today's economy. Yes, I know some of you may say that you have your 401k, but many have less than $90,000, and you haven't even paid taxes on it yet. So you got to think about that. Or maybe you've even paid your home off, and you don't have the liquidity that you need in an emergency. So don't even get me started on that philosophy, because a lot of people follow that. And let me tell you, when it comes to medical, you can reduce unnecessary medical costs by asking better questions, getting second opinions, and understanding what treatments actually improve the quality of life versus what just adds to the bills. You can plug into community resources like Collaborative Expansion Foundation, where food support, education, and real conversations about housing, income, and health are actually happening in real time every day. So you're not trying to figure this out alone. I've been in the financial industry for almost 4 decades, and I have seen a lot of things. And the scariest parts are hearing how many of you are taking advice from influencers who are not even in the industry, or from, I'll call them old fogies, who don't want to change with the time and is giving you outdated, no longer supported advice just because they don't want to update their own personal information and make necessary adjustments for turbulent and unpredictable times as the ones that we're in. So I can say that because I am in my 60s. So I have receipts and I have real working knowledge. With Bivix, you will stay informed through our newsletters, our workshops, and trusted advisors, so you're making decisions from knowledge and not fear. And most importantly, you can stop waiting, because the people who are stable right now, well, they didn't avoid the problems. They prepared for them. So the real question is not, is this happening? It's, what am I going to do about it while I still have options? So here's how we close this. Not in fear, but in power. You do not have to figure this out alone. You do not have to guess your way through retirement and hope it all works out. You can make a decision today to live differently, to plan differently, to move with intention instead of pressure. So here's the call. Connect with Bivix Wealth and Insurance Solutions and stop guessing about your future. Sit down, build a real strategy, protect your home, protect your health, and create income you can actually rely on. Then step into the community with Collaborative Expansion Foundation, where we are actively supporting seniors through food programs, education, and real conversations that change real lives. And we want to give a big shout out, a heartfelt thank you to Walmart for helping us bring this vision to life by sponsoring our food boxes, our education, and financial support initiatives for our viewers, our seniors, the ones who need it most. This is what it looks like when community shows up. This is what it looks like when solutions meet action. So come and be a part of what we're building. Join the movement. Join the team. Make a lifestyle decision with us. And you will live your days on your own term like it's golden. What a deal. And isn't that what you deserve? I think so. So I'm Moné Swan. Stay happy, stay wealthy, stay informed, you guys, and always stay golden. I love you guys. Thank you, Walmart. We love you too. Bye.
Secure 60 fast class planes, or singing flight. Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive. Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive. Secure 65 health plans where senior thrive. Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
BibX Wealth Insurance Solutions.